the nice desk that was yours.
I know.
This is what they came
That could be a 2026
Yeah,
thing.
that's another year problem, yes.
Just block my view, Bob. Just shut it. Okay, I prefer that, really.
All right, you're probably going to start.
Then I will call this April 8th, 2025 regular meeting of the Knox County Commission to order. All three commissioners are here. And I think we'll start with a presentation.
We sure will. All right. Okay. So thank you all for joining us today. We're here to recognize 6 employees for their years of service and dedication to Knox County. In the year 2025, we recognized for the milestones hit a year prior, so these were hit in 2024. And this year they all happen to be Sheriff's Office employees. So I'd like to thank them for all they do, and we do have their leadership here to speak on behalf of their time. And I'll just lastly note that instead of the normal pins and shirts we typically do, we're going to be doing some additional vacation days instead this year. So without further ado, I will start with Deputy Alcala. He was unable to attend today, but he did start with us back in 2019 as a patrol deputy and still holds that position to this day. Thank you for your 5 years of service, Deputy Alcala. Anything you want to say on his behalf? Wonderful. Next we have Sergeant St. Thomas. Sergeant St. Thomas is also unable to be with us today. He also started with us in 2019 as a patrol deputy. He was promoted to supervisor or sergeant in October of 2023 and still holds that position today. So we thank Sergeant St. Thomas for his service as well. Next we have Corporal Taylor, who is here with us today. He started back in 2019 as a patrol deputy. He was promoted to assistant supervisor in December of 2024. Thank you for your 5 years of service, Corporal Taylor, and I would invite his leadership team to share any words they would like.
Just quickly, Chris has been here for at least 5 years.
I think that's what she said.
Yeah. I think with this day and age, as far as law enforcement is concerned, it's an ever-changing field, and we should be recognizing people that decide to stay. It's a tough field to be in, and people should be recognized for it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next on the list, we have Corporal Palmer. He was also unable to attend today. He started back with us in 2013 as a part-time corrections officer. In 2014, he became full-time as a corrections officer, and back in 2022, he helped as a transport officer for a little bit at the correctional facility before being promoted to the assistant shift supervisor role in May of 2023. Thank you for 10 years of service, Corporal Palmer. All right, trouble. Lieutenant Wallace. So Lieutenant Wallace is here with us today. He started back with us in 2013 as a part-time corrections officer. In 2014, became a full-time corrections officer. In 2021, similar to Corporal Palmer, he took a position as transport officer before being promoted to shift supervisor. He held that position briefly before being promoted to our security and operations coordinator, or lieutenant, over at the correctional facility. He's held that position for about 2.5 years. So thank you for 10 years of service, Lieutenant Wallace.
just want to briefly talk about corrections as well, and Sean's position in particular. His position is very important. It keeps the county out of civil liability. He has to maintain a lot of hundreds of state mandates that we have to abide by. Oftentimes corrections, and I will use dispatch as well, they are oftentimes not seen by the public. It's a very important position. It doesn't become important to someone until maybe you have a loved one in jail, and so it's very important that way. And again, it's a tough field to be in, and I think they should be recognized, especially for the years of service.
Good afternoon. Corrections Minister Bob Wood. I will just add, I do believe there's another person that's going to be announced. All three of them. The biggest thing is they stuck with us through the COVID times. That's the biggest thing. That was very tough for all of us with what we went through. So I definitely congratulate them sticking through it with us and putting the years of service that they have with us.
I'll also mention before I present the last one that Corporal Taylor, Lieutenant Wallace, Sergeant St. Thomas have all been stepping up and also helping us in our communications center. So we definitely appreciate them above and beyond. And lastly, we have Corporal Oakes. He was unable to attend as well today. He started with us in 2004, held the position of corrections officer for 16 years. And then he was promoted to assistant shift supervisor in 2020. He's held that role ever since. So we thank Tex Oakes for his 20 years of service with the county. We'll invite anybody that's here that got an award up here. Shake everybody's hand. Go down.
Nice to see you. Yeah, congratulations. Hi there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for helping at the dispatch
Yeah.
center.
That was really important.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Very much.
You want a photo?
We'll take a photo.
Okay. All right.
Have it together, will you?
No smiling.
Fine.
It's not a somber occasion.
It's fine.
Perfect. Thank you.
One shot.
Would be.
That concludes our employee recognition presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Chair, I have one other comment before we move on. It's my understanding there were a couple of other awards, and I know Captain Wood was the recipient of an award recently, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the second.
Patty.
Patty Quinn.
Thank you. And so I just wanted to recognize you both for those awards as well. I think those were state level awards.
I would add that the Maine Sheriff's Association, out of the 16 counties, they choose a manager of the year. And so Bob was chosen out of 16 counties.
It's amazing.
And Patty, Officer Quinn, is a similar, it's made up of the 16 counties make that decision. So there's only very few that are given out.
Well, congratulations. That's a huge honor for you, and also just reflects really well on Knox County. So we appreciate your service, and congratulations.
Thank you. Next item of business is, it says commissioner updates. Any commissioner updates that we have?
Nothing today.
Nothing today, Mayor. Any?
The only thing I'll mention is I did make it to an Appleton Board of Selectmen meeting a couple of weeks ago. It was a very busy meeting. I pulled in and the parking lot was absolutely full, and so I was just thinking it would be a quiet meeting and I could introduce myself, but they had some major budget items that they were talking about. So I did get a chance to introduce myself. I heard back from their town clerk, and they're happy to connect in the future and share more about some of the work that they're doing and learn more, about what the county's up to. So that was a good connection. And so now I think I have Union, Friendship, and Cushing left to make it to their town meeting. So looking forward to doing that in the future.
One thing I can add, from a previous amendment, I'm still a member of the Camden Budget Committee, and we went through that, and I'm happy to say the amount for the county passed with no dissension. So
Good. And, I don't really have much of anything to say other than I am on the representative from Knox County to the Maine, whatever it is, County Commissioners Association. And we have meetings once a week on policy issues, and once a month for the risk pool. And it's going along smoothly. There's nothing special going on up there. We're all worried about insurance because every time somebody gets into a fender bender in the sheriff's department, it adds up. But Knox County has a very good rating as far as that's concerned. I don't think, I'm not particularly picking on our sheriff's department. This just goes on in the whole state. And you get to hear all of these things, and sometimes it's a deer, sometimes it's backing up into another car. It's everything you can imagine they do. But there's other issues too that come up, and one of the things that they're lobbying for is something that's just not going to happen, which is more money for the jails in the county, in the state and the county jail. But it's all right. That's about all I have. If there's nothing else, we will open it up for public comment. Is there any public comment? Anybody who would like to address the commission? Seeing as there's none, we'll move on to the business items. We have the consent items, which include this agenda, the minutes of the last regular commission meeting on March 11th, the departmental reports, the warrants, and reserve withdrawals. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
A couple things about the warrants. I had a couple questions. Number one, I noticed with the ARPA funds, there's still couple really big items left. Are those committed to, or just taking time to pay it off, or because there was one?
Yeah, if you can give me some specifics, I'm not sure if you know off the top of your head.
I can say off the top of my head, the corrections doors is one of the big ones.
545,215.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
$545,215. And I think that's correct. Unfortunately, the way the computer works, I can't see it all in one.
I don't have a copy of the report in front of me, but that was one of the bigger projects that took time to coordinate, to get all the parts and pieces, and is underway, and we're starting to see the expense invoices come through.
And one of the other ones was food programs, and I was curious, 38,000. And I'm just curious that we're spending all the money we can for food.
I can't speak directly because that's one of the sub-recipients. I can follow up with them to inquire why the delay. I believe majority of their funding was based on a renovation more than the food supply of that.
Yeah, I'm just learning about this, so I'm just asking as we go along. So. Okay.
And I do have some project updates for you at the end, which will probably cover a few of your questions.
Anything else? And again, once again, the departmental reports are very helpful. Thank you all for sending those in so we had a chance to read them. If there's no other discussion, all those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed. The regular action items include an act to appoint the county administrator as the public access officer for the freedom of access requests.
Yes. So each county or entity within government, schools as well, need a public access officer to be the person, excuse me, whose name is on all the freedom of access requests. Due to the transition we've had in the last couple of years, that's kind of been up in the air. Wendy and I have been working on it for about 2 years now, so this would just kind of officially put the county administrator, who it should typically be, as that point person, to manage and make sure messaging is received in a timely fashion and according to the FOA process, etc.
I'll make a motion that we approve appoint the county administrator as the public access officer for freedom of access requests. Because the county administrator is looking for more work.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
The only other thing I'll add is when I read the information here, I think technically you also had a training in 2025 at the MCCA, so you might want to add that to your list of all
3
the trainings.
Yes. I've been through it 3 times.
Yes.
I'm very well prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost didn't count that one because it was so brief, but yes.
I counted it as mine.
Okay.
So,
Well trained.
Yes, yes, great.
Thank you.
Yes, well, I think almost everybody will agree that one of the things we're all trying to do is figure out how to become more transparent in what we do. Not that this usually comes after somebody feels that we're not transparent enough. So this is part of that, get information out there. And so you've already been doing this job for a while, so it's just a technicality.
Correct, yes.
Yes. All those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed. Next item is an act to reappoint T.J. Copeland and Aladar Nessar to their second 3-year terms to the Airport Public Advisory Committee, and to appoint Lauren Schwartzbaugh to her first 3-year term, I guess, on the same committee. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, these are the seats for the APAC. TJ Copeland is for the Flying Club seat. He is eligible for re-election, so the Flying Club has appointed him up again. Aladar Nessar is the commercial pilot seat. Again, he's eligible for re-election, so he offered his services. The APAC agreed. Lauren Schwartzbaugh is a citizen of Owl's Head. The Owl's Head nominated her. The APAC and the airport, we don't really get involved in the decision-making process for Owl's Head. We kind of just let them handle that. That's who they sent us. So the decision from here is yours.
Any questions?
No questions. I can add that the proceedings at the meeting where they were all chosen was very smooth and very efficient, and no big problems. Everybody seemed very positive about those 3 individuals.
Are there term limits on how many 3-year terms they can serve?
Yes, sir. 3.
Three-
3 is 3-year term.
Okay, so these are all, that's why it says their second 3-year term. That's what I figured. Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing as none, all those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed. The next one is an act to approve $14,817.42 for a sole source purchase for the replacement parts necessary to repair the airport's TU-3 snow blower.
So moved.
Second.
And second.
Can I comment on this? I read in the notes that your department mechanical people, instead of just going out and getting the generic, very expensive repair from somebody else, tore the machine apart themselves and discovered the problems and are fixing themselves at a huge savings to the county.
That's
I so admirable, and I was so surprised to read something like that. It was like, wow, thank you.
They're the best. They're the best. It started out, just for a little context, I'm sure you've all read the notes, but the machine itself as a whole is $500,000, $500,000. Obviously, buying one of those would be quite costly, and if we were to get an FAA grant, it would be time consuming, and how far out we would have to wait to get this blower, which is pretty dire in the winter months. The maintenance team, they were able to diagnose the problem themselves. They found that the assembly to replace it would be $55,000. Again, that is a lot of money, so they dug even deeper. They took it apart piece by piece by piece and managed to get a parts list from the manufacturer on what individual parts needed to be replaced, crossed everything off by the list of what needed to be swapped out, what was good, what was bad. And the total that we're looking at now is from $500,000 to $14,000.
Astonishingly wonderful.
They're the best.
They should do something. Do you have a timeline? And once we authorize this, how long it will take to repair?
I believe it was 6 months or something like that. It'll be up and running by winter for sure, but it is quite a long time for them to get all the parts to us.
Right. Great. Thank you. And thank them.
Anything else?
And I was struck by the same thing, and I'll just say it speaks to the importance of recruiting and retaining high-quality people who know how to do their jobs really well, and that needs to always be a priority for the county, because when we have the right team on board, it improves efficiency and costs all around. So please thank your team for us.
Absolutely, will do.
That's great.
How old is this piece of equipment?
Off the top of my head, I'm not positive.
I mean, it's more than a year or two. It's not a brand new piece of equipment that just broke, kind of thing.
No, sir.
This is an older. Yeah. And I think it also reflects well on you that you would trust your team to rip apart an incredibly important and expensive piece of equipment like that and say, "Go ahead, go see what you can find."
I have the utmost faith in my team.
Yes. So I think it reflects well on you and your trust in your staff too. So thank you. Anything else? Seeing as there's none, all those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed. The next item is an act to approve the airport manager to sign an amendment to the 10 Benner Lane lease agreement between Knox County and Waters Aero Marine Incorporated, doing business as Penobscot Island Air.
So moved.
It's been moved
Second.
and seconded.
So I'm doing a deep dive into the lease agreements that the county has, everything related to the airport. One of the agreements that was brought to my attention from some of our other tenants was the crew house, if you will, 10 Benner Lane. The agreement that we had with Penobscot Island Air was very strongly favoring Penobscot Island Air and not the county. So this is our attempt at rectifying that and making this more of a, making sure that the county's getting fair market value for the service and the facility that we provide.
And again, I'll say it's such a pleasure to read something like that where, there's an awareness of what's going on and a really high-quality negotiation to find a great middle ground to help the county and yet support the vendor. So, thank you.
Absolutely. I will say I understand that the lease agreement may be a little confusing to read. PIA did not have to, just speaking on their behalf, they did not have to agree to this amendment. We sat down and we talked about everything, and in order to lessen the impact on them, that's why we've staggered it out across the years, just to help for their budgeting purposes instead of hitting them all at once. I mean, this was an act of good faith on their end as well. So.
From my standpoint, I'll just point out that anything that brings in more money for the county is a good thing. So,
I agree.
So thank you. If there's nothing else, all those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed. Which brings us down to the discussion items, which is the county administrator's updates.
Right. I have a few here. Some people in the audience took some of mine, but I'll acknowledge them anyway. First, I did want to acknowledge the airport team. But Jacob explained it very well. But yes, we were very lucky to have such a dedicated team, wonderful department manager, and a team through and through over there, looking out for the county. We are working on a public safety grant with the state, and this would provide cardiovascular and organ screening for all of our first responders. That would include our entire dispatch team, patrol, CID, corrections, all the way up through most of our administrative staff. So we are hoping that we will be awarded that grant, so we're able to provide those screenings to them on site. It's a great service, it's a great grant, great opportunity, a very small time window, a lot of work, but we'll be submitting that this week. It's very exciting. MRI is still on track, making really good progress with them. The job descriptions are completed, so we're filtering through those with the departments. We're working on the policy, which will change the way we do salary administration and all of that. And now kind of finalizing what that cost impact would be to then present something to the commission in the next coming months. Typically in April, we also do a salt and sand bid for all the towns. It's a service that the county provides to the towns to help them out. Due to capacity in the administrative office right now, we worked with the Mid-Coast Council of Governments, and they're actually going to take that project over for us. So we'll be communicating with the towns. They're very excited to do it. They already have a great process, so that should be a very clean handoff. And we'll alert all of our towns, including Lincolnville, that change will be coming. So great. Just again, I know last month I mentioned, but just our communications team, that dedicated staff, thank you to everybody who's been stepping up and working long hours to keep us through. And it's not just our communication staff. We have people in corrections, patrol, our detective division, who are all making time out of their days to help us out. So another thank you to them. I did want to recognize Captain Wood and Patty Quinn for their awards last week.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. But I'm glad we did it when we did it, so everyone was still here. But yes, I've seen Captain Wood, or I've worked with Captain Wood for a little over 2 years, and very, very well deserved award. Very lucky to work with him. Telecommunicators Week is next week, not this week. My apologies. So we'll be getting communications out. We have a lot of fun things planned. We're going to be involving our county employees, our stakeholders, our leadership team. We're doing lunches, activities, prizes, lots of fun, engaging things. And we have a small gift for them as well, which I think they'll really appreciate. We do have a budget meeting April 17th. That agenda will be going out shortly. That'll be a joint meeting. Just more informative, no voting or anything, but
2 Thursdays from now, is that correct?
correct. Yep. And then some updates on just some projects that are going on. And Jim Hagan isn't here, so hopefully not too many questions on the details of them, but I'll do my best. Here at the courthouse, we're doing a lighting project to convert to LED. The state shared cost with us on that, so that project is up and running. And then the ARPA projects over at the Public Safety Building, which houses communications, EMA, and the sheriff. We're also doing an LED conversion. That is an ARPA project. And then we're also going to be doing an HVAC study for that building as well. And then over at Corrections, as Commissioner Ratner asked earlier, we did start the door project. That is the 545 number that you saw. We did have to wait for them to get on site. I believe all the closures have been done at this point, and I don't know if you want to speak to this where you have probably more of an update, but that project is also moving along very well. It's where a lot of our injuries and accidents come from over at the correctional facility, so this is something we've been talking about our safety committee for quite a while to get these fixed, so it's very exciting that this project is happening. We're very lucky for the ARPA funds to make it happen.
And the only thing I'll add is they're also replacing some of the glass in the door, because some of the original glass is not, it's safety glass, but it's not what needs to be in there. So they're working on that right now. And then the bulk of more supplies are getting ready to come to do the big bulk of the door project. And we also have security fencing that's being replaced, and they should be here in probably about 3 weeks to replace all our security fencing.
That was my next one, so very good. Those are my updates.
I do have one other question for Jacob. I noticed in your report, the solar energy, it says that the FAA is tough on extensions, and So I'm curious how that's going, and what happens if we don't get it done?
We are projecting that the project will be done before the deadline,
Okay.
but it's cutting it very close.
Yeah.
And we knew that was going to be the case for a while. We've asked the FAA over the phone and things like that, if they'd be willing to give us a second extension, and the answer has always been not no, but like we don't like to do second extensions. We don't like to do that. We don't like to do that. I spoke with the director of aviation from the Maine Department of Transportation, and he understood our situation. He understood how we got in this, and basically that it wasn't the county's fault. It was, a large complication of issues that I'm not going to get into here. He wrote us a letter of support, and today we sent those letters off to the FAA. We have it took a while. We wanted to make sure that we had all of our ducks in a row before we actually brought that to the representative that we're working with.
Yeah.
I'm still confident that we're going to have this done before the deadline, which is great. If that is not the case, then it's going to be a pretty large cost burden to the county. What is it, $1.3 million for that project?
What's the nature if you don't make it by the deadline? What happens?
All of the money, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Kathy, but all of the money that we have spent and gotten reimbursed for, we will have to pay back those reimbursements, and the money that we have not paid out for the project as of yet will not be reimbursed later.
Okay. I didn't know what the penalty was. I'm curious about that. Well, good luck. I know since you've come, made a lot of progress, and it's finally getting done. I mean, we used to hear about it in Camden for years. This has taken way longer than it should. So thank you for applying yourself and getting it hopefully done soon.
Like I said, and just to be clear, I'm still confident that we can get it done before the deadline. But just in case, I want to make sure that everyone is aware that we tried, we brought it to the FAA, and now it's up to them to put it in writing that they told us no, it's on. So nobody can say we didn't try.
We need volunteers to come and swing a hammer or something. What do you need?
It's all, we're down to the wire now. It's
Yeah.
all check-offs, and we're just waiting for dates to schedule. The state has to come inspect it, CNP has to inspect it, and the FAA has to inspect it.
I drove by it on Sunday. It's looking good.
It's going up quick.
Yeah.
We're going to have a big ceremony when you flip the switch.
Maybe so.
Yeah,
Maybe
That's a
so.
great idea.
I think that's once again, it's both an opportunity for us to celebrate the fact that the amount of work that's gone into making this happen, as well as sort of dotting the I's and crossing the T's of a project that's been going on for a while. And also letting everybody know what the county's been up to with the government's money.
We can celebrate when the FAA signs off on that. Signs off that we're done, then I'll be happy. Then I can.
Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
If you need another backhoe, I can bring mine down. And just as long as the sheriff doesn't give me a ticket for driving it on the highway.
We've got a trailer you can borrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other questions? The next part is upcoming projects. Are there other projects coming up that we're supposed to discuss? No?
I think I covered the key ones.
Any other questions from the commission?
One quick question. You mentioned the grant you're going for. Obviously, grants, nobody knows what's happening right now with the federal government, but there's such a huge bonus to any county, any town, any city. Do we have and I'm just asking a question, do we have a procedure so that we're out there looking to see what's available? How do we do that?
Yeah, a lot of the department managers are on different email chains or teams that share those opportunities. We are looking, when we get to a better place in the administrative office, to make that kind of something that we do seek and formalize a little bit more. But right now, the kind of process for it is we discuss it, right? We had one for around safety, around slip, strips, and falls. We bring it up at the safety committee meeting with our leadership team. Everybody thinks about what they could want, right? We talk about it, and then we submit it Right now, EMA typically, or Director Richards typically coordinates a lot of it, depending on what it is, especially with the ones that coordinate with our towns, municipalities, etc. So we're working on improving it a bit, but we do have a lot of discussions around them. I've been working very closely with the sheriff on this one, for example, and working with the captains and lieutenants to ensure we have all personnel accounted for and what it will look like. So it's a collective.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm just asking questions. I'm still new to all this. So. Kathy, that's why I ask you questions about what's going on with you as well. I read it, don't understand it, and want to know what's going on.
Anything else? If there's nothing else, the next item on our agenda is an executive session. Convene an executive session to discuss a personnel matter pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056 subsection A. Any discussion?
No. Sorry, do you need a motion?
Yes.
So moved. Sorry.
Second.
Moved and seconded. If there's no discussion, all those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed. We'll see where they would like us to, whether they want us down at the table.
Let's wait till.
I think you can stay where you are.
Sit in the comfy chairs.
Yeah, stay in your comfy chairs.
Why don't you get a comfy chair? You have to use one of those.
Yeah.
Don't you just say?
We give it like 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, a light being on doesn't mean anything by itself.
I don't know why I've written the date so many times already, and I still want to call it March for some reason.
Reaching back in time. Then I will, we're back out of executive session in regular session. Is there anything else to come before the commission?
Today.
I think you mentioned it. We have our next scheduled meeting is, March,
April 17th.
April 14th?
17th.
17th?
Yep, 5 p.m.
5 p.m., and that's
Yep.
with the budget committee.
Correct.
Okay. Which should be interesting, because we don't know what the budget committee consists of at this point.
Correct. We're only having 3 members attend. We only have 4 total. So it's going to make it very interesting. But it'll be a good discussion to start wrapping up 2024, discussing 2025.
Do we know which towns we're missing members from?
2 from Rockland, 1 from Rockport, and then we need to appoint 2.
There's 2 who are coming to the meeting,
Yes.
but they're not
But they
members
can't-
yet.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so those are the 2 that have been selected by their towns, but we need to
Yes.
approve. Okay.
Yep, and that is a joint approval from budget and commission, so we felt that it made more sense to do it in that meeting. Great.
So if there's nothing further, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? 3, 4, none opposed. We are adjourned. Thank you.